What's up? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to give you a quick update on tariffs and where they stand on the Model Railroad Show. Gotta admit, when I said I was going to do a YouTube channel based upon model railroading, tariffs were not a topic that I had sketched into the channel. But I did say I was going to talk about all things trains and model railroads, and this definitely has a huge effect on the hobby that we all know and love. So, as you know, I did a past video on tariffs, a little bit of opinion in there, just the facts here today. Tariffs currently are at 145% on goods coming into the U.S. from China, and 125% on goods going from the U.S. to China. There was, in Geneva, there was a meeting between the Chinese delegates and the U.S. Treasury Secretary, and it was a 3-day meeting, actually. Obviously, they got a lot of stuff done. The overall thing is right now they are going to lower tariffs 115 percentage points for 90 days. So that's good. It's going to start May 14th. So that is 2 days after you're seeing this video. So from May 14th for 90 days, we're going to have the tariffs lowered to 30% on stuff coming into the U.S. from China and 10% going from the U.S. to China. Good news. Markets were all kind of crazy. Crypto market's been up and down. Futures went nuts last night. I mean, it was all the typical stuff you would expect to happen. So, model railroad industry, there's been a coalition of model railroad companies, of manufacturers in the U.S., Scale Trains, Walthers, Broadway Limited Imports. They've all have a coalition, and they've given us ways to contact our local senators and representatives with a format letter, which I will try and link below this video here, just to try and get an exemption. Because in 2017, when Obama increased tariffs on China, they were granted that exemption. But nobody's been granted an exemption around this time around. So I have my thoughts on that. But like I said, just the facts here today. Tariffs also, I think what people may not know is we started increasing tariffs as a country. So the prior administration started increasing tariffs on items back in 2024. But like things like electric vehicles went from 25 to 100% tariff. Lithium ion batteries, which kind of does affect you if you're model railroad. We do use lithium ion batteries, from 7.5 to 25%. Things like solar cells doubled from 25 to 50%. Semiconductors 25 to 50%. A lot of things went up in tariff percentage, most doubling. Like ship to shore cranes were set at 25%. So this has kind of all been obviously building for a while. The other thing is this temporary reprieve or rollback on the tariff rates do not include things like cars, steel, aluminum, and anything pharma. So just so you know, we're given the complete picture here. All right. So still 90 days is good. It gives these manufacturers, you know, a little bit of window, and it gives basically both countries some time to work on a long-term trade deal, which hopefully, given the outcome of these talks, I think will happen and will get done. I think a trade deal will get done. I think a trade deal needs to get done. But again, just the facts. So, model railroading. How can you look up what tariffs apply to model railroading? How can you look that up? Where can you see that? And model railroading is typically classified under the Harmonized Tariff Schedule Code 9503.00.00.90, which covers other toys not specified. Historically, this category was duty-free under the most favored nation MFN status. However, 20% tariff was introduced in 2024 and applied to this category, increasing the cost then. So they had a 20% tariff back in 24. These are things that I feel like when I said just the facts, a lot of people aren't talking about this stuff. And it seems like this was just an overnight. And granted, there's a huge difference, I know, from going from 20% to 145%. I get that. But this is not the first time that this industry has seen that or should have thought that, hey, this was a possibility, things might not work out. So hopefully this temporary reduction will have some relief, and more importantly, hopefully this temporary reduction will give everybody time to get a long-term trade deal in, which I would hope would be, obviously less than 30% on stuff coming in, and but we will, we'll see we'll see where that leads. When I said just effects, that's what I meant. All of this stuff that I brought you today, from the AP News, from Reuters, Market Watch, Guardian, everybody's reporting the same stuff. I think we'll see more details come out in the future here. And like I said, when I started model railroading, I thought I was going to talk about trains, not tariffs, but I think it's very pertinent. And I did a video on this just a few weeks ago, but this is an evolving situation. It's things that are not only have changed since the last video I did, but will change with the next video coming up. So if you want to keep up to date on these changes and up to date on videos that I upload and content that I upload, please give me a subscribe, ring that bell so you know when new content is uploaded, and give me a thumbs up. That helps the algorithm promote the video. Again, I'm George. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.